tell me, what makes a good zombie game? You know, other than atmosphere and the zombies being spooky and the protagonist having a voice. Nice one, Dark Souls. I meant Dead Space 1, but Dark Souls actually kind of works too. It's weapons. Weapons are very important because you use them to kill the enemies, and if they're not satisfying, then I mean, the game's still good, but I don't really want to play it anymore. Weapons are probably the most important thing, at least to me, because I like going around shooting people, because that's just the kind of person I am. So I'm going to go through and give a brief overview of, well, I suppose it's a guide, really. A guide on the Dead Space 2 weapons, because, I mean, I like them. I mean, I like some of them. Some of them I don't like. So I'm going to do, you know what? Should I do it from, should I do it from best to worst or worst to best? It's a very good point. You know what? Screw it. We'll do it from best to worst. So the best, no, I shouldn't do it that way. Should I? I should do it from worst to best. So, let's start, I guess. I'm going to go with the first weapon, which is, unsurprisingly, if you've played the game,
with new kitchen gun!
The Rivet Gun! Yay! So if you don't know what a rivet is, it's basically a really big nail. And I'm sure you're like, oh wow, how do you fuck up a nail gun? And that's a really good question. Firing a nail into an enemy would just pin them to the wall like the Javelin Gun does, right? Well actually, yeah, right. But in this game, it kind of just pokes them a little bit. I mean, it makes a cool noise when you reload it, but that's about it. It is useless. Its secondary fire uses ammo, which is just stupid, and hits you as well, which I don't... Who made this? It hits like a pea shooter. Even fully upgraded, this thing is just useless. And it's also got some annoying game mechanic thing where if you have it in your inventory, ammo spawns for it a lot more in place of other ammo, so you can't even have it in your pocket to use it as a meme gun because it will just steal all of the other It's literally the Jew gun! It's the Jew gun. It fires coins, except coins are actually good because that one cannon in Terraria fires them, and that's actually really good, and I like that one. I don't like this one, though. Some noobs to Dead Space 2 are probably like, what the fuck's he on about? Is he mentally insane? There is no Rivet Gun, and that's technically true. It's a DLC-only weapon, so you get it as a pre-order bonus if you pre-ordered the game back in, 2010 probably, or you can get one of the DLC packs and that comes with one as well, except it's better, so why would you do anything about it? It would honestly be really good because it's basically kind of like a pistol. Fires really fast, it's fun to use, it just doesn't do any damage. It's a real shame as well because all it needs is a damage buff and it would actually be really good. I kind of hate the next weapon a bit more, but at least that has a use because of its secondary. This gun's secondary is awful. So without further ado, let's get to the next gun, the real worst gun, but technically it's complicated. The line gun! Yay! It's fantastic. It fires lines and also bombs for some reason. Hey Jeff, what should we add to this thing for cutting rock? Oh, I know, a nuke device. How the hell did you come to that conclusion? It's technically called the P22 ore cutter line gun or something. It cuts ores, basically, is what it does. It goes down into the Minecraft mines and steals all their diamonds or something, but it just sucks. It's so big and so freaking clunky that it literally feels like you're using a fucking World War II tank, which is good for, you know, the big enemies, but really bad for anything that moves. Similar to the next gun, this thing, if you fire it at something, it better be right in front of you, because if it's not, you'll miss it. It hits like a train, but it also has the amount of ammo as a train would, I guess. Have you ever wandered into a city and found a train and, like, only seen, like, one or two of them? What the hell? What am I on about? What the hell kind of analogy is this? Okay, let's restart or something, and clearly I'm having some kind of brain aneurysm. Basically, it doesn't have much ammo. Line racks, they're purple, which is a cool color, but every time I see them I just vomit because I'm like, ugh, line racks. And can you only stack them into like groups of 4 or something ridiculous? It's really bad. Your inventory will fill up with things and then you'll shoot something and it will just kind of laugh at you, which is interesting because you hit it with a really, really powerful weapon, it just doesn't do anything. I should have actually put this last, to be honest, because the Rivet Gun's still kind of fun to use. The Line Gun just isn't. It's actually garbage. I don't like it, I refuse to use it. Its bomb's kind of cool, but considering one of the better guns in this list has a bomb, and it actually has a use, I'm gonna go ahead and put this here. But hey, at least, you know, it's got a kind of a use, unlike this thing.
This is how not to hammer in a nail.
The Javelin Gun. It fires javelins, which, not like the... I mean, it's kind of like firing a javelin at people. It hits like a truck, but the problem is it also has the handling of a truck. If you fire this gun at a person and that person moves within, I don't know, 2 centimeters to the left or the right, you will miss. This thing, it's so overshone by the Seeker rifle, it's not even funny. It's good if you can hit them, but you can't hit them. I saw a dude, I can't remember his name, I'll look it up maybe. So this guy uses the plasma cutter, really good choice, and the fucking Javelin Gun. Why? To be fair, he uses it for like big enemies that are right in front of him, which is the only use this thing has, and it's good. But if you try and fire at anything else, it's over. Also, fun fact, its secondary fire electrocutes things, which also takes another javelin, so why wouldn't you just fire a javelin at them? And if they're close enough, which is, it's basically a short-range gun, if they're close, it'll just electrocute you instead, and then you'll die. So, yeah, not a big fan. I'm gonna go on to the next one now.
Stay back, I got a chainsaw!
The goddamn Ripper. Now, a lot of people like this gun because it's basically a chainsaw, and that's true. The only problem is, to use a chainsaw, you've got to get next to the enemy. You know what else is next to the enemy? The enemy. So they're gonna just stab you. So you'll wander up to an enemy, start chainsawing them, and they'll realize, oh wait, I have fucking feelies, I'll just tap you to death, and then you die. And I've died more using this gun than I have using anything else, including the Detonator, which I fire at myself almost exclusively. Its secondary fire fires a disc of what I can only assume is cardboard, because people will be hit by it and just kind of look at you, and then just wait for you to reload out of literal sympathy because of how bad the shot was. I feel like this list is basically, if it's a gun that fires hit scan, it's good, and if it doesn't, it's bad. Yeah, I don't really have a whole lot to say about this gun. You've got to get close to them to chop them. It's good. You can you get a lot of bang for your buck with your saw blade, I suppose. But if they hit you, it despawns, and they'll always hit you. So
I'm a firing my laser!
So I'll be honest, I've come to an interesting fork in the road here, because that's the end of the bad guns. Seriously, there's 4 bad guns, and the rest of them are really good. So the next in the queue is actually the contact beam. And if you've used the contact beam, you know the contact beam is really good. And yeah, it is really good, but it's just not as good as the rest of them. So I mean, it kind of just gets unlucky. Unlike the Seeker rifle or the Javelin gun, once you fire this at someone, that someone is gone. I don't really think there's an enemy other than like the Brute that you can fire this at that doesn't just immediately cease existence. That makes it really good to have in your pocket because you'll make so much money off its ammo. But to use as an actual weapon, so yeah, it's good, just not really as good as all the other weapons. Its secondary fire is also a bit lackluster, only really being useful if they get near you, and again, see the Ripper, if they get near you, you're dead, so...
Lamp oil, rope, bombs?
The Detonator. I like the Detonator. It's probably one of the most unique weapons in the game, to be honest. It basically fires a trip mine, but you can also use it as a regular grenade, so it's basically a trip mine launcher. Its secondary fire removes the grenades, so it's quite good for like legendary or something like that. It's not legend, it's hardcore, isn't it? That's right. Sorry, I get that confused all the time. God damn it, Halo. And when you get the ammo back, it makes this adorable little noise. Aww, isn't it so cute? Look, it does on the ground. No, it's evil. Every time I fire this thing, I fire it at my own nose. I know that's technically not the gun's fault, but shut up. It's the gun, okay? It's not me. It's not my fault. You can't prove it because I removed all the footage that has any of it with me. Detonator's quite good, just don't fire it anywhere near yourself, otherwise you're probably going to nuke off your own leg and then you can't really walk anywhere, and that's not good. Now we're getting into the really good guns. So, this is going to be a bit of a controversial, you're not going to like me, basically.
Sorry, Link. I can't give credit.
Don't stab me, plasma cutter. And now hear me out. This is only because I've used it so much that it's now boring to me. Like, the rest of the weapons are just so much better, at least to me, that, I mean, it's kind of on par with the Seeker rifle, I'll be honest, but the Seeker rifle hitting someone with the velocity of a double-decker bus kind of puts it slightly higher. It's a good gun, and don't get me wrong, it's become a staple of Dead Space for good reason. It's just, as someone who's played all the Dead Space games, it's kind of stale to me now. It would probably be higher on the list if the pulse rifle didn't do everything it did better than it does, because unfortunately it's just a better weapon. The plasma gun is cool, it's very cool at what it does, but it's just not fancy, and at the moment that's, you know, really good gun, super support it, but yeah, no.
Not a crazed gunman, Dad, I'm an assassin.
The Seeker rifle, it's a sniper. It's basically, you took the contact beam, you took the javelin, and you mushed it all together and made a gun that actually is worth something. The important thing to remember about the Seeker rifle is that it will kill anything you fire it at as long as you fire at it properly. It's similar to the pulse rifle, except instead of firing a bunch of different bullets, it fires one bullet really well. Don't mess with it. It is hit scan, which makes it infinitely better than the Javelin gun, but yeah. It comes fourth just because it's like the plasma cutter, it's not super exciting, although it is, the zoom in detail is actually quite good for looking at all the environments and all the writing, because some of it's quite small and pixelated, so honestly, for that reason alone it gets this high, because I love looking at all the different scenarios and different environments, so what can I say, I like this gun, it's basically a snoop. Think about it this way, if I can shoot that man over there before that man gets within 5 kilometers of my nose, how is he going to stab me? So originally this was at the top of the list, but then I realised the other two were just kind of a little bit better. So this is the Force Gun. It's incredibly powerful. So you take the dude from Skyrim and condense him down into a gun, and then use it to kill the enemies. Not only is the dude you fired at no longer in the same room as you, I'm not even sure he's in the same solar system. This thing is just ridiculously powerful. It's funny watching something come up next to you only for you to fire somewhere in its general direction and then he just stops existing. And if they're slightly far away, the secondary fire just chomps them. Also, I love the noise the secondary fire makes. That's not the noise it makes. What is wrong with you?
I got a minigun, you humorless prick!
I like the pulse rifle. I thought I loved the pulse rifle, but it's just... You know what, I'm going to explain both of these as one separate thing. So the pulse rifle and the flamethrower. The flamethrower gets first, and here's why. Because going up to an enemy and completely coating them in fire and watching as they literally just burn up is so entertaining I actually forgot what game I was playing. I've never actually seen a flamethrower executed so well in a game before, which is odd because it's not really a game that you'd expect a flamethrower to be effective in. You have to take off their limbs. I mean, hell, you cover the Ubermorph in fire and he laughs at you. Like, seriously, it doesn't do any damage to the Ubermorph. You can completely coat him in about 12,000 different things and it won't kill him. The pulse rifle, on the other hand, will chop everything off, and if it doesn't chop everything off, it has a grenade up its ass. They both fire grenades, which makes me think that I have some kind of thing for grenades. One of the grenades explodes and, you know, sends them flying into oblivion, and the other one explodes and doesn't really send them flying, but it just covers them in napalm. So, burn to death or explode. Take your pick. I reckon they're both on par, but the reason I put the flamethrower slightly higher than the pulse rifle is because I just enjoy it more. I just enjoy covering someone in flame and watching them die. In fact, what is it, hydrazine? Hydrazine? It's a hydrazine torch. Hydrazine burns at 800 fucking degrees. 800 degrees. How the fuck do you burn someone to death? Maybe make them... Okay, no. What's the temperature of the sun? Let's see the temperature of the sun. That's Kelvin. 10,000 degrees? Fucking hell. I mean, I get that it's the sun, but Jesus, what is it made out of? The sun's made of, like, hydrogen, right? Why is it... Has anyone asked why the sun's on fire, by the way? Did someone go up to the sun and be like, and just fucking set it on fire? Because that's not how suns work. Wait, no, is that exactly how suns work? Hold on, I'm on the news section. What's on the tum? Chinese artificial sun breaks world temperature record. Fantastic, we're global warming our own nose off. So yeah, that's my list of the best weapons in Dead Space 2. Now I know this is, 10 years late? Because Dead Space 2 has been around forever. But I adore it, and I'm sure there's many of you who still adore it, so, you know, fight me, basically. I'd like to give a quick shout out to Crunchy for being Crunchy, and Jessica for supporting all my stuff. And also Jurixa for figuring out how to stop his video from stuttering. Just kidding, yeah. He's never going to figure that out. But that's okay, because we love him still. Or something. I mean, that's pretty gay. Shout out to Cuddles as well for making all the stuff, like, existing. Also, if I haven't uploaded, I will definitely have uploaded the Siege videos. I'm making Siege videos again with Cuddles because I discovered that I adore it. So yeah, shout out to Siege for being Siege, I suppose.